Hello, and welcome to the second session of Mass Extinction. Technically, the first session, we did our session 0 last time. And my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is Masks, which is a PBTA game of useful heroes dealing with a variety of issues. We have a slightly off-kilter framework, a world where the vast majority of supers have vanished. There are still some around, some that have appeared since the event occurred 9 months ago. But our characters are kind of having to deal with that and the fact that there's a lot of super material left behind by people that people are hunting for. So that's a big predominant issue in the setting. But we're going to be doing a little bit of setup today and then getting to play. We have one more player. Hopefully we'll get them in a little bit. We are using a layered set of safety tools, as we do with all games here. This session is part of the Open Hearth gaming community, which is an online gaming club community. You can find out about that. We have a link in the show notes. And if you like this stuff, you should also check out my webpage, which I'll also have in the show notes, because I am going to say that every time, crassly, as it were. So we have a set of lines. These are hard lines for our play. And again, this is a living document, which means it might change. Additions might be made to it. So we have a hard line on sexual assault, torture by the PCs, harm to dogs, trapped or falling elevator or planes, and a set of names, Zach, Lauren, Mark, Sandy. Those are sort of the issues, elements we're not going to have at the table in the course of play. We also have veils, which means that if they get mentioned, they will be mentioned obliquely, and we won't dwell on them. And those are questions of eye injuries, graphic gore, harm to children, sexual content, and torture in general. And then we have ask first, which means that it's something that might be a story approach, might be a thread that we're going to follow up on, but we want to check in with that. And in this particular case, it's a good one. It's PC betrayal. So if you would like to angle yourself for that kind of storyline, not just kind of violating a little bit of trust, but the actual sort of real high scale betrayal, because of course we have a reformed in our party, so there will be a little bit of the betrayal of trust. But big scale things we definitely want to check in with before we move on to those things. And we are using online roller, the roll with me, and I have that set up there. So before we go too much further, let's have our players reintroduce their characters, your character, your name, your pronouns, your character's names, pronouns, the playbook that you're playing, and then just sort of the general pitch of who you are, so that we remind ourselves. Last time I started with skirmish, so this time for the session I will be starting with Ghost Girl and Boo. Can you give us the quick pitch, the explanation of who your character is?
Yeah, so our premise for this game is that there was this big extinction event with a bunch of um, our superhero community disappearing in some sort of mysterious fashion. Did they die? Did they teleport? What happened? We don't know. As that was going on, our typical teenage girl um, had a ghost appear to her, who was trying desperately to tell her something very important about what was going on, but was not able to convey the message effectively. And ghosts apparently have problems remembering things, or maybe just this ghost does. Who knows? Anyway, the playbook is the attached. So when they combine forces, they are greater than the sum of their parts. Yeah, Summer who's this character, is having some, wasn't really planning to be a superhero, but also feels like, since someone's got to step up, so she's trying to do so. And yeah, while we don't want to go the full PC betrayal route, it's a little unclear what this ghost's intentions are, and especially what their intentions are now, and versus when they get their memories back. Maybe they're a very different kind of person. So that'll be themes we're playing with.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That brings us next to our reformed Purple Haze.
Hello, I'm Joe, he, him. I'll be playing Purple Haze, aka real name Jenny Rell, she, her. As Lowell said, she is the Reformed. She is a former villain who had been recruited by a sort of like techno hacker Bond bad guy, in my mind, is I keep thinking of some sort of person like that, known as the Ace of Spades. And he kind of recruits people with his charisma and charm, and she's I think last time we said she's an orphan, so she kind of fell in with that crowd doing villainous things, and then at some point was betrayed by the Ace of Spades and left to die after some battle of some sort, I would assume. I don't think it probably matters, but where she was rescued by one of the other or at least found by, and I'm gonna apologize next time if I butcher this name, Effie Voss. And I'm
Yeah,
not gonna try. I'm gonna use the superhero name because the other one's even even harder and stuff. So who now crashes with Effie Voss and their family as well. That's where she lives now as well. So and so she has, I guess, one of the important things, her power is that she can control these sort of, I think poisons is probably the best term for them, that can affect people's emotions. I think we were steering a little bit south of mind control, but but kind of in that like softer side of that. And they manifest themselves in sort of this cloud, this purplish cloud. So hence Purple Haze.
Nice. Awesome. And then last but not least of our trio, we have Skirmish.
Hey, Chris Newton, he, him, and I'm playing Skirmish, who is the Relic. He is a time displaced, ancient warrior type from a prehistorical period, most closely analogous to kind of a sword and sandal fantasy kind of deal. He basically showed up a little bit before the Extinction event, and has been living and is getting some help acclimating, along with a retired and depowered demigod named Guarna, who had also been sort of time displaced and has kind of helped him grasp both the language and the modern world to the extent he has been able to so far. He is a probably the best way to describe him would be like your classic like comic book barbarian type. Like he is fast, strong, tough. He has impossible fighting skills and superhuman senses. And he is constantly trying to figure out ways to understand the modern world by applying all of the principles he learned in his world, which creates a hilarious comedy that I'm sure we'll explore and play.
We are going to talk here about some additional NPCs that we've got on the table. We established some of them last time. Some of them are in the NPC tab. I did add a picture for Pack Rat and a figure for our extraterrestrial Martian Manhunter analog avatar. So I've got a couple of images there. But I asked everyone to think about both an existing super, hero, villain, something in between, and a rival. And I want to start with that question of an existing hero who or super being, who they are, what their role is in the city, that kind of thing, kind of build up a picture of our high-tech city of ocean, California coast. So to start with Ghost Girl, what is the super that you've come up with that we want to put on the table?
Yeah, I didn't flesh it out hugely, but
Sure.
I was thinking of a necromancer named Requiem, um, of sort of dubious morality in the way that you tend to be when you are a necromancer. Sometimes they've been a good guy, sometimes they've been a bad guy, but is probably one of the few people around who still knows about ghosts, so is particularly of interest to Ghost Girl.
And do you imagine that this necromancer appeared after the extinction, or were they around? Sorry, gender, he, him, or something else?
Oh, I hadn't gotten as far as gender. Sure, let's go with he, him.
Okay,
Um,
and we can chase it if we need to. So was he around before, or around differently before, or only after the extinction event? What do you think?
I think there has been someone named Requiem for hundreds of years, and it is slightly unclear whether it's the same person or if it's a title that gets passed on.
So this particular requiem we're seeing after the extinction event kind of looks different than the requiem from before.
I'm not sure they're public enough that we would really know that. I think that's
Okay.
like a speculation, like whether or not this is the same person or if it changes sometimes, how exactly all of that works. I think Requiem is fairly secretive about what they're up to.
The last sort of semi-confirmed sighting of Requiem, uh, was he portrayed as heroic, villainous, or absolutely ambiguous?
Um, let's see. Let's say heroic,
Okay.
and it was a bit of a redemption. So there's very much that sort of, well, recently, there was that thing with all the zombies, but it turns out there's a few situations where a zombie army is actually helpful. So this was one of them.
I like it. And I'll just put down zombie here as well in a box. Just writing that down for future. No reason. Yeah, I like that. So that gives us one. We'll come back to you and talk about a rival from this other team and who they are. Let's come to a Purple Haze. Who is the super that is around right now?
All right, so I put them in they're in the tab. They're called Infinity.
Okay.
I found that picture online and I liked it. I imagine them as this sort of like ambiguous, not really good or bad, but has some sort of um, um, higher, you know, plan or something, knowledge or whatever. And so maybe they are sometimes doing things that might appear to be bad, but other times they might be doing things that appear to be good, but they're all in service of something that's beyond what any of us would even be able to, you know, um, know or figure out. And I believe they came shortly after the event. That was my thought.
After the event. And like Silver Surfer style cosmic powers, or the other
Yeah,
more particular? Okay.
yeah, kind of in that vein. Yeah, that's a good analogy. The other one I was thinking about kind of sort of was, oh, I'm gonna lose it. Doctor the Watchman, was it Dr.
Dr.
Manhattan?
Manhattan. Okay. So
But
that's sort of
it's kind of this, you know,
disconnected.
yeah, yeah.
What's the last big public thing that involved Infinity?
I believe they stopped like a big massive earthquake that would have done tremendous amounts of damage to um is it what
It
was
is
city?
it is City of Ocean, but a lot of people call it Ocean City.
Okay. Yeah. So as of right now, people are like, oh, that Infinity is not such a bad cat, right? Because he stopped the earthquake from happening, but who knows? He may have created the earthquake. You never know.
I like that. And then Skirmish, who is your hero that is still around?
Oh, it is Mr.'s Metro, a cryptic spirit of public transit. They're a genius low-key associated with the city's mass transit system. When they talk, they seem to speak with multiple voices and rail noise and a weird dissonant muttering. They turn up at seemingly random times, dispensing cryptic nonsense like it's sage wisdom, occasionally playing the role of a half-baked Deus Ex Machina, and other times needing to be rescued from attacks by strange entities. Some of the older heroes and folks on the edges of mysticism claim that they were once much more than this, more coherent, more present, but nobody knows what happened to bring them to their current disjointed state. So they've been around a while, but they've been around in different forms, and this latest one has appeared after the extinction, I think.
Okay. So besides like subway, like elevated rail kind of thing, are there any other kind of interesting transport options, transit systems here in the city or the surrounding area?
I think there's a pretty standard city bus system as well, but I don't think I didn't get the impression that the city was that much more advanced. Like we weren't dealing with like teleport tubes or anything like
No,
that. We
no.
weren't that, the city hadn't got to that level. So it's, pretty decent metro system, pretty decent busing system. Um, maybe a few like in some of the older sections of the city, maybe there's like a trolley or something like that, kind of like a San Francisco style,
Right.
almost retro sort of deal that people enjoy. And they have appeared in various forms in relation to all of those.
I like that. Uh, awesome. I think that gives us a good sense of that we have like a vanishing of heroes, but we have three kind of strange, potent figures that are a little ambiguous that are around. So I think that's a nice hallmark. So I want to come back then, and I want to talk about this rival group, this rival team, by building up first a picture of who their members are. And so we're going to come back to Ghost Girl. Ghost Girl, who is the rival of this team that you've come up with?
Yeah, again, I hadn't done a lot of work, but
Sure.
I'm thinking like a cyborg type character, except steampunk.
Okay.
So think of let's say she, her.
Okay.
Um, so they've got the human parts, they've got the mechanical augmentation, but the augmentation is all, brass and gears and not the sort of sleek robotic look. It's very clunky and Victorian.
And like what has been your interaction with them? Like what has been bad about the encounters that you've had with them?
So I think she and Summer have this sort of frenemy vibe, where they're just kind of where like, they're rivals, but they're not really sure why they're rivals, except they just seem to have like some friction every time they're together. Um, you know, we're supposed to be competitive about this whole team thing, so I guess we are. But what would be a particular thing
I kind
that,
of like that
oh,
vibe.
okay.
Yeah, do you have a sense of maybe kind of what name you want for this character?
Oh, names are the worst.
They are the
Let me
worst.
go back to um, my favorite fantasy name generator. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look this up. Can I get back to you?
Absolutely. In fact, I have, as it occurs to me, pull up this and modern and that, and I have that picture in here.
Maybe something like Rosemary Ratchet.
Rosemary Ratchet. I like that. Yeah. So she, her, similar age, we'll
Mhm.
assume secret identity. So we can reveal their true identity if we need to at some point in the future. Let's come then to Purple Haze. Purple Haze, who is the other rival?
I've named him Vortex.
Okay.
So he, him, and Vortex because he can control and harness like the elements, and so in my mind, I see creating these like vortexes of energy, water, whatever. So super um um trite, I guess.
Mhm.
So straightforward.
So very classic character there. So like you've had some run-ins with him and their team. What has that been like? What has been particular beef or interaction or attraction that you've had with this character?
I was thinking that, and if this doesn't track or work, that's fine. But I was wondering, maybe they were part of Ace of Spades crew also,
Yeah,
and that they are sort of like on again, off again, sort of love hate sort of thing. So
maybe a little bit of resentment that you've gone squeaky clean
yeah,
to their eye. Perhaps somebody who wants to pull you back over onto that side. Yeah, I like that.
I like that. That could be a nice little hook occasionally as well. So
Perfect.
not that Purple Haze would ever betray her new team ever.
No, just a misdemeanor or two.
Right.
And then Skirmish, who is the other rival. Can you hear me, Chris?
Okay, I want to make sure
Sure.
that was my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So Skirmish's rival is La Cucaracha. She is fast. She sticks to things. She has an excellent healing factor and is pretty durable. And she is really sneaky and generally prefers to run from a fight or sneak past a fight rather than have one. So she is an incredibly frustrating person for Skirmish to have to deal with. Because she's perfectly happy to just run away, and he is generally not fast enough to catch her.
Okay. One of the things that's interesting about that reference, and I'd like to maybe work in if we could, is that that song itself is a classic Spanish folk tune that's usually about satirizing the powerful. And I think it might be interesting if that like was part of her shtick is taking down humiliating authority figures in that way. Does that seem cool?
That seems super cool. That's kind of the focus I was going with basically her being more interested in basically not doing like standard like destruction stuff, but more stuff like that. Like
okay.
She focuses on I won't say Robin Hood because there's still a whole lot of like giving to herself rather than others in her particular activities, but her targeting is definitely in that sort of vein, like the rich, the powerful, that sort of thing.
So let me set this up. And kind of we're going to ask you some questions, kind of establish the scene and the rollout here. Ghost Girl, this concert that all of you are at, is it indoors? Is it outdoors? Is it an arena? Is it a concert hall? Like where are we when we see that first sort of splash page?
It is in a grungy underground basement sort of venue. The floor is sticky with spilled beer. The stage is so low it is practically in the audience. But if you know where it is and know how to get there, it is some of the coolest music in town.
And Purple Haze, this is not the kind of place that people of your particular age bracket are necessarily allowed into. What did you do to help get the team in here? Did it talk to somebody? Did you use your powers? What do you think that was? Did you break in the back door?
Yeah, I kind of like, and again, please if this is too far, but like I kind of like the idea that she can occasionally just use a little snippet of that power, maybe to get what she wants. So maybe she sidled up to the bouncer, and when whispering in his ear, a little puff, if you were paying attention, a little puff of purple smoke, a little purple, gas came out, and he became much more amenable to letting them in.
The fake IDs, they kind of waft past him, and he doesn't quite focus in.
Yeah, they weren't video. They weren't the Blockbuster membership cards anymore. They were very convincing, convincing IDs.
And you've had to kind of walk down. You're definitely in a sub basement. I think we can tell as we go along, as Ghost Girl described, this place is not up to code. It is concrete and pillars and people packed in, and the sounds of things breaking here. And Skirmish, when we come to you, when we see you on panel, what is your reaction to this? This crowd, this scene, this music?
I think the crowd maybe doesn't bother him as much as the music, because I think the audio effects are really confusing to him still. So like if the music was simply played, normally, like, emanating from the stage, but I think like the sound system just makes it all weird for him, especially with his superhuman senses.
Yeah,
And
it's every drop of beer you're smelling, the crushed peanuts and popcorn, the like oil on things, all of that, the human sweat, everything is just kind of overwhelming for you in these close quarters. There's no venting. It's very warm in here. Uh, Ghost Girl, we have I believe, a start of session move that we do for your character, right?
Oh, do we? I'm not very familiar with this playbook.
Yeah, I think let's go. I think at the start, and let me pull this up here real quick. I think we make a roll at the start of session for you. Let me pull this up to Drive. 1 second, let me get that open. If I'd been a good GM, I would have printed this out and had it in my hand. I was not. So let's see. Attached. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. So you start with your hunger, what your ghost wants, your attached your friend wants. It starts at a 0. So right now you've got a 0 in your ghost hunger, and you're going to roll to see like kind of how much it wants. Does it want something? Does it not? What do you think? So you're rolling with that hunger. You want low, and you're rolling with a +0.
And it's 2d6?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Have to refresh the page.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. That is a 6. It's a 1 and a 5.
Okay. So right now, you can you've got some choices under hunger. Normally, it would give me some hold that I could spend to have your ghost ask for something. But right now, you've got that hold, and you can activate that if you want to do one of the choices that's listed under hunger, either name something that it desires, have it object to an action, shift your labels. And if you do that during the session, if you kind of say, oh, I want it to ask me for this, then you'll reduce your hunger by 1. And so your hunger would go from 0 to -1.
Okay.
Otherwise, your hunger kind of has a tendency to kind of build up over time, which can get overwhelming.
Fun times.
Yeah. But I think you can feel the ghost like it's with you, and you can feel its impulse kind of move you and turn you in the room as the music is going on here. And there is a weird sensation where you see your vision kind of narrow in, like the ghost is pointing you towards, and you see this person across the room who's not dancing, but is standing there very stock still, listening to the music, kind of a little disheveled. And you can tell that the ghost is pointing you towards them for some reason. What do you want to do?
Well, Summer will go, so are they there as themselves, or are they there as their superhero counterpart?
I assume
Because
you're
I feel
there
like just
in your secret identity, I assume. I mean,
yeah, I feel like Summer is there as Summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
being a teenager at the moment. So she will go buy a couple of red Solo cups of beer, and will take them, go over to this guy and this person and say, "Hey, I'm Summer. Want a drink?" And offer a glass.
And they'll turn awkwardly, like they're uncomfortable in their own body, and look at you. They don't say anything, but they take the cup. And then they just stare.
Okay, so I guess you do want to drink, but like, so how this usually works is I say, "Hey, I'm Summer," and then you say something like, "Hey, I'm Dudley," or whatever it is your name is. So let's try that again. "Hey, I'm Summer."
And I think that's kind of at the moment when the music stops, as it does embarrassingly when you're trying to talk loud. The music comes out and your voice kind of cuts over. And you see him look at you, and he looks up at the stage again as the band is changing out, and you see he starts moving through the crowd, kind of pushing his way through to get up towards the front. So Purple Haze, you're there, here in your sort of real world identity. You've come with Yanu, Jenny, and you've come with Summer, Jenny, and you've gotten them in, and you will see this. You will see Summer go over to this strange looking guy. There's that conversation, and then he seems to ignore her and start walking towards the stage. What do you do, Jenny?
Yeah, I think I think maybe she laughs a little. Like, because maybe in her, like, she's like, well, little Miss, maybe she's thinking little Miss Fancy thought, like she just like hit on him and he kind of walked away from her. And so, so she laughs a little. And so at this point, we're in between the bands.
Yeah, there's another band setting up.
Okay. So she's gonna kind of smirk and chuckle at that, and then she's going to grab Yanu by the hand and say, "Come on, let's get closer to the stage, and stuff. Just grab him and start funneling towards the front of the stage."
Yanu is, are you going along with that? Are you holding your ground? What do you think is happening?
He's not sure of the etiquette here, because this doesn't seem to be any sort of musical performance that he's used to. Everyone, there's no designated spaces or anything. Everybody's just sort of milling around. So he figures Jenny knows what she's doing, so he's going to follow along with it. But he's still sort of like off balance a little bit from the sound system and the noise. I think the smells he's probably gotten used to because he's been living in the city for a while. But the noise, like the way this place contains and reverberates with noise, that's really, really throwing him off. So he's kind of stumbling a little as they're going through the crowd.
And Skirmish, you're moving along towards the front, right by Jenny. Your senses are always working overtime, and as you approach up to the front, what is the scent that is unusual that you pick up, that is out of place here, that you're getting suddenly?
I think it's a sharp, sort of earthy scent that is immediately like completely out of place everywhere in here. And he just gets this impression for a second that it smells like grave dirt.
And I think Ghost Girl, you maybe kind of followed up a little behind this guy, as he's moved up towards the stage. You see the band kind of getting ready to start up. Jenny Skirmish, you will see this guy change. And he grows another foot in height, and his skin shifts, and it looks like it's stitched together. Has a kind of a Frankenstein assembled body look to him when he transforms. And there's that smell of the grave, and you will see him, push himself forward, reach up, and go to grab the singer. And that's where we're going to take our first break, and we will come back. So take 10, and we will return. Now, before we go too much further, I do want to point out a couple of mechanical things. Joe, you haven't played Masked before, but I want to point out a couple things that are to keep aware of. I know you probably looked at the rules, but there are 2 information gathering moves in this game that have a limited palette of questions, and that's kind of one of the deals with all of the basic moves that you young heroes have, is they have some real restrictions to them in terms of what you can do. There's a situation which is about looking at the area and kind of figuring out in location what's going on. And then there's Pierce the Mask, which is about reading a particular person to figure out what's going on with them. So those are the 2 information moves. The move to assist someone is about spending team. You will have, which will generate in a second, a team pool. When you want to help somebody, if there's team in the team pool, you can spend 1 team to give somebody a +1 before or after they make a roll. But you also shift their labels to give them that +1. So if they're rolling superior and you spend a team token to help them, then you will move their label superior up 1 and move another 1 down. So that's kind of a important mechanic that happened in this game. And then there's some options, some things to do to generate more team for the team pool. So I don't think we've established a leader for the group yet, and I don't think we can. I think this is a group that is not yet kind of figured out its center. Does that seem like a fair thing to say?
Yep.
So we're not going to worry about the leader thing. I don't think that you necessarily know what your purpose is, so we're not going to add another team. But since you don't have a leader, it isn't the fact that anybody mistrusts the leader, so there's no minus from the team pool. And the situation is giving you a chance to kind of look at what's going on. So I'm not going to say you're necessarily off balance at this moment. So right now you have 2 team in the team pool. I'm also going to mistype that, 2 team. And I'll track that in the chat when people spend that. So that's where that will be. So Summer, what do you want to do? You see this, you're a little ways back, and you see this figure probably grow a full foot in height as they transform, kind of ashen purple skin that you can see here. The shirt that they were wearing kind of rips. What do you want to do?
Summer wants to try and figure out from Boo what the plan is here. And so she starts talking out loud to herself, which will probably result in a Pierce the Veil roll. But like, whoa, you could have like said, like, okay, so like, do we help him? Do we stop him? Do we another beer? What do you want from me here?
Perfect. So roll plus mundane.
Do I have any mundane? I'm not sure I do. There are my stats. -1. Oh yeah, this will go well.
Not a strong point, but that's okay. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah. Lost connection again.
So that looks like a 5.
It is a 5.
Okay. So the good news is you get to mark
I get to
potential.
mark experience.
Yeah, look at that. That's the best thing. But I do think as you are focused in on that, you will feel a heavy hand fall on your shoulder. And you will see that there is another one of these people that has come up from behind and has grabbed you and throws you across the room, flying luckily over the crowd, but over where they have a very old, not particularly great condition popcorn machine that you will hit. So why don't you mark a condition?
Except I have lookout.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming I'm taking a powerful blow.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend is going to intercede and take the hit for me.
Okay. So you don't have to mark a condition. You can only do that once per scene. How does that work? Like, what do we see happen on panel that shows us your friend stopping you from being injured?
I think we see sort of a glowing nimbus sort of appear around her just as she is about to hit the wall. So she doesn't actually hit the wall the whole way. She's somewhat cushioned before she falls to the ground.
Yeah, that seems perfect. And we kind of cut to Jenny. You're seeing this person change, but then you hear the sound and you see Summer go flying. What do you do, Purple Haze?
First, she's like, every time we just want to go have fun, every single time. And she turns to Yanu and says, get me up on the stage. Throw me up on the stage, right? So she wants him to throw her up to intervene between because you said the one is reaching for the singer, right? So she wants to, yeah.
Perfect. So Yano, are you going to do that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think that's casual strength to do that, to grab and toss Purple Haze up there. And we have a move for this. We have the defend move. So when you defend someone from an immediate threat, you're going to roll plus savior.
Me?
Yes. Yes, you are.
Of course, another -1. So
of course.
All right, 2d6 -1.
So the good news is that you get to mark.
I also mark potential.
And I think you try to get in the way, and this thing grabs you and kind of hefts you up and suplexes you onto this dirty, sticky floor. Now I'm going to have you roll, take a powerful blow.
All right.
This is one of our moves. You roll plus the number of conditions that you have marked, which is none. So you roll with +0 and you want low.
Okay. Get all the rolling out of the way. We're setting skirmish up for a good roll with all these fails.
I had a PBTA session a few weeks ago that there was no die that came up above a 3.
So it looks like a 5.
So that is a 5. So that's great. So you've rolled a miss. So you stand strong, and you get to mark potential as well. how do you weather that blow? Like what do you do that keeps this from like injuring you?
So I mean, they're all kind of larger than life, right? Beyond
Yeah.
just their normal powers, right? So I think it goes to do whatever it was going to do to her, and she kind of just you see her just twist, kind of twist out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then land on top of oh, no, there wouldn't be it. There's just kind of land just out of reach of it, where it would have thrown her, but she's on her feet, so kind
Okay.
of right?
Yeah.
Graceful thing.
Cat-like kind of get out of that as it tries to throw you down. Skirmish. You see that both of your teammates have been attacked by one of these grave figures.
This has made this evening so much better for me. I am going to engage in terrible violence against these things.
Okay.
Basically jump up and basically try to punch them away from whatever they're trying to do. It looks like they're trying to get to the stage to get to the singer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to punch them away from the stage.
Okay. So you move to the closest one to the stage that's right by you, and you are going to, I believe, as we say, directly engage a threat. So you are going to roll plus danger.
That's a 10.
That is a 10. See, yeah, you were right, Purple Haze. We're just setting the dice up for skirmish here. So skirmish, you get to pick two.
I am going to resist or avoid their blows because I like the idea of him just pummeling them with no reprisal at this point. And I'm going to take something from them, which is their position close to the stage.
Okay. So you inflict a condition, and you will push them back, like so they go kind of flying back through the crowd that is scattering next to where the other one is, and kind of up, and they don't get a chance to Kirk punch you with their hands there, and the music is kind of cutting out. The speakers are doing feedback. People are kind of running for the exits. It's a panic in here. Let's come back to Ghost Girl.
Yeah, Ghost Girl has had absolutely enough of this, and she is going to merge with Boo.
Okay. And so this is the first time we're seeing this. So tell us what that looks like and then roll freak.
Right. So the glowing nimbus that was around her that protected her fall remains around her, and she opens her eyes and they're glowing, and she starts to rise slightly into the air with this sort of crackling spectral energy around her. So she is no longer she's very passive. She's just sort of hovering there, but not really moving. But around her, all this energy is crackling, almost like it's an extension of her body.
Okay. Let's have you roll freak.
Freak is, what's my freak? I think that's where I special. Yes, that's +2. Okay. Surely.
Not going to jinx it.
9.
9. Okay. So you get to choose 2 additional powers from your basic gifts, or you can choose a single move from another playbook.
Yeah, that would involve remembering what the other playbooks
exactly,
do. So let's do the
exactly.
basic gifts.
Yeah. So and I'll let you choose those on the fly, so you can kind of say that. But you do have to mark a condition. What do you want to mark? Like what What is it that
Oh,
you're
it calls
kind
a
of,
condition? Okay.
yeah, on a 7 to 9.
Oh, okay. Um, let's see. What are my conditions again? Angry. Yeah, this jerk just threw me against the wall. Yeah, I'm absolutely angry.
Absolutely. So I think that's kind of like a setup power. So what is it you actually want to do after we see you merge with Boo?
Let's see. She is going to, this is probably not the most strategic, but she is angry. So she is going to directly engage a target with a forceful slam.
Okay.
See how you like it.
Perfect. So in that case, you get to roll plus danger to strike at this figure.
Okay. And my danger is 1.
Okay. Oh, so that's an 11. So you're going to hit the one that threw you, going to inflict a condition on them, and you get to pick 2 from the trade blows.
Aha. Pick 2 from trade blows. Trade blows, or it's directly engages?
Yeah, sorry, it's pick 2 from the directly engaged threat. You've traded blows.
Oh, okay.
You get to pick 2 results from directly engage.
I think I would like to frighten the opposition. And oh, I have to pick resist or avoid their blows to keep from taking a condition, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so we'll do that one as well.
Okay. So what is this power they're using? What does it look like when you hit this figure and kind of draw their attention and surprise?
So Ghost Girl is still hovering in midair, eyes still glowing, sort of gazing blankly ahead. But this tendril, this tentacle of the aura around her reaches out and grabs one of the, doesn't even grab, just sort of reaches out and knocks one of these guys, the one that threw her, knocks him to the side, just swats him.
Swats with this spectral tentacle, goes flying. You see the one that you didn't hit that kind of got knocked back by a skirmish, kind of looking at you now like, okay, what is going on? Clearly surprised. Eyes get wide. That's kind of washed over cataract eyes that these monsters have, and you can tell they are a little off balance right now. One is on the ground, one is still up. Purple haze. What are you doing? You see that tentacle whip out, strike one of them. What do you want to do?
What a show off. So is the band, are they just still sitting there, or is the singer, because the singer seems like they were the target.
Yeah, they are grabbing their equipment before they flee the stage. So they have not left yet. They're grabbing their stuff to go because they can't afford to lose it.
So they're just taking a beating right now. I'm just I think the first thing she's gonna run up, and she's gonna jump up on the jump up on the stage, so that she's just in between them and the things.
Okay.
That's the first thing she's going to do.
That
And
seems
just
easy. Yeah, kind of flip yourself up, and then what? You're up there on the stage with them. The band members are kind of looking at you as they're pulling out plugs and wrapping cords.
I think she's going to try to unleash her power on the creatures.
Okay. And what is it you want to have happen?
I think she wants to kind of try to knock them out.
Okay, so that will be a directly engaged threat if you're trying to like actually harm them. Unleash your powers is when you kind of like using it to change up the game state or change the situation. But it is fair to use your powers to, kind of as an attack here. So you would roll with danger.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm 2 on danger. Excellent.
Yeah, you're a dangerous girl.
Danger girl, right? AKA danger girl. All right. 8.
So that is an 8. So you will send that out and hit them. You have to pick one from directly engage a threat for the effect there. If you don't take the resist or avoid their blows, you will suffer some harm.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess maybe it's if it has any effect on them, creating an opportunity. I think she wants to try to create an opportunity for skirmish, especially, to maybe it weakens them or something.
Yeah. So I think you'll hit them with this, and they're kind of fighting back against it, and I think they kind of stagger together. Though this one that's kind of still standing, it looks, he picks up a table and he whips it at you. And I need you to roll take a powerful blow.
All right. So that's just straight 2d6, right?
Straight 2d6 right now. I don't think you have any conditions marked.
Nope. 7.
So that is a 7. So you get to choose one. You can lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence over somebody to inflict a condition. You can give ground, in which case your opposition gets an opportunity, or you can mark 2 conditions.
So I think I'm going to I kind of want to lash out verbally a little bit.
So what do you say? Yeah, like what do you say?
I think she's gonna yell at Yanu and essentially be like like, what the hell, Yanu? Why can't you handle these guys?
You hear that, Yano? You see that haze go out. You see that the two have kind of staggered together. So mechanically, the opportunity provided by Haze and Ghost Girl is that you can make an attack that directly engage that will affect both of them. Does that seem like a fair mechanical reward? Okay. So what do you want to do? And Hayes is saying that you haven't done enough.
And I think like Yanu grits his teeth. Like he's used to tough love from his mentors over his admittedly short years, but like that's been a common training thing. But whether or not he sees Jenny in that role is an open question, and he will come back to that. But there are things he gets to smash and feel good about smashing them, which is rare, and he is going to take advantage of it. He is going to pick up something heavy, probably a table if there's one handy.
Yep.
And basically like smash those two into the wall with the table.
Directly
Or
engage.
into the floor. They're right
Yeah.
there. Just, over the. So that puts me with rolling with danger again. Ooh, that was terrible though.
What did you get?
I got a 5.
Got a 5. So it is possible for this to get saved, but both of your teammates would have to spend team in order to help you. But what is your danger right now?
2. I mean,
2.
the total roll is 5.
Yeah. So there is no way, because they can only push up your label up to a +3, so they can't spend enough team to help you with that. So I think you get up to them, and I do think Jenny has influence over you. So I think you rush up, maybe exposing yourself a little too much there. And when you do, the one of them grabs you and suddenly spins and kind of locks your arms as the other one rolls up and just throws one of these massive pile driver fists into your midsection. So would you please roll, take a powerful blow, and mark potential?
Okay.
And you rolling at a -2 because you don't have any conditions marked, do you?
Well, but I'm not engaging these guys alone.
Oh, that's right.
That's the critical part of that move. I have to engage a superior force alone, and I have 2 teammates.
Yes. All right. So roll with +0.
Of course, this time it's a 9.
It is a 9. So that's a 7 and 9. So you have those same choices: lashing out, giving ground, or marking 2 conditions.
I think I'm going to mark 2 conditions.
What do you want to mark?
This is particularly frustrating for Yanu at this stage. Let's see. I think he's going to mark guilty and angry.
Okay, absolutely.
He had a little feedback loop going, like Jenny called him out for not doing enough. So he's like, well, maybe I didn't. Maybe I should have moved faster. Maybe I should have hit harder. Maybe I should have moved more quickly. But he's also angry because basically he's done just as much as anybody else against them so far. And so what do they have to call him? Why do they have cause to call him out? So he's in a self-hating perfect loop. So
yes. So mark those conditions, mark that potential. And we're going to come back to Ghost Girl. So you've seen this. These 2 got knocked back, Summer. And it looked like they were maybe on the ropes when Yanu rushed them. You expected him to smash into them, but suddenly the tables were turned and they have a hold of Yanu, and they have struck him, and you see Yanu reeling from the punch. What do you do, Summer?
I think it is time. What's it called? For Sonic Roar, the Banshee's Wail. So she's going to directly engage a threat, and she's going to go after these guys again.
Okay.
Yes, yes, we all know that he's that Yanu's being held, but also I think she's angry. So
absolutely, I think there's some delightful risk there. So let's have you roll with danger.
Danger. And that's an 8.
That is an 8. So on a 7 to 9, you're going to inflict a condition on them, and you get to pick one from those results.
I don't think she's going to resist or avoid blows this time. I think she's going to take something from them when they're that something is Yanu.
Okay, so I think you let loose the scream. Yanu, the force of it tears Yanu from their grip, sets him free, and one of the two of these Frankenstein things staggers back, and as it does, it throws its arms back as it hits the wall, and it hits some of the support posts in here, and you'll hear them crack, and you'll see like the ceiling of this place kind of start to like have that creaking sound, but one of them is completely dropped right now by that ghost girl. But let's have you roll take a powerful blow as the other one kind of takes its swing at you.
So I roll plus conditions.
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
Okay. Which is also 1. 10.
That is a 10. So now
this is the one I wanted to be low, right?
Yes. Now this is a case where your teammates could help. They could spend team from the team pool to take that down to a 7 to 9. Does anyone want to help? Okay. So how are you helping Yanu as you get knocked free?
I think basically as he hits the ground, like he sees the thing going, the other patchwork creature going after her, and I think basically he basically springs and maybe pushes her just out of the way enough to where the full force of the blow doesn't catch her.
Okay, so the team pool will go to 1 because this is take a powerful blow. There's no shifting of labels that happens as a result of this. It's just the -1. So Summer, you have to choose one from the 7 to 9 on take a powerful blow.
Let's see. I think she ends up giving ground.
Okay.
And the way that happens is she and Boo are not quite in sync, and she's like not, you can see her eyes start to, the aura starts to flicker, and her eyes start to maybe go back to normal a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you don't present as big an obstacle as you kind of desync a little, and this thing pushes past you, leaps, and lands up on the stage, close by one, the singer that's trying to desperately get his wah-wah pedal up off the ground there, like it's kind of stuck there and trying to grab it. Purple haze. You see that one of these Frankensteins has been dropped. There's that sound of shrieking. You hear that the creaking of the ceiling in here. People are running, and then there's the whoof as this Frankenstein thing lands on the stage, not nearby to that singer. What do you want to do?
Well, that changes what I was thinking I was going to do a little bit. Well, let me think for a second. My original thought was I was going to try to use the her powers to get the band to take off, right, and then kind of because if they're that might, de-escalate things, but it's right there, so that might not be as good an idea as I thought. I think she's gonna just.
You could unleash your powers, but you would definitely want a full hit to have that succeed. You could defend, or you could do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's just gonna try to. I think she's gonna try to defend
Okay,
them, to protect them.
perfect. So you, despite being a reprobate, a former criminal, you step in the way here. Let's have you roll plus savior,
Or minus savior, as it might happen to
as
be.
it might be.
All retrobatey. Reluctantly.
Yep.
Let's see. -1. Oh, she's gonna get hurt.
So
that's a 3.
you get to mark potential. But this thing pushes you aside and it grabs the singer, and you see it open its mouth, and you will see like soul stuff start to pour from the face of the singer into the face and mouth of this creature as it is draining something from the singer. You were not able to help them. You just knocked aside by this thing. And I think that there is a moment there where you kind of have that flicker of Ace of Spades saying, "Now I'm cutting you loose. You're just not good enough." As you're kind of laying there. Yanu, you see that? You see Hayes kind of laid out, and this thing has drained a portion of this singer's soul, life force, something else.
I think Yanu is going to leap up and basically try and get this thing in like some sort of chokehold and yank it off the singer.
Does that feel like defend?
I'm not sure if it's defend or directly engage a threat. Like
It's
he's
up
really
to you
he's trying to
which way. You understand the consequences on both sides of that.
Yeah. Trying to think of what his focus would be here.
What conditions do you have marked? Let's see if you can play into that.
He's got angry and guilty. So both of those figure into both things.
Yeah.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to try and. I think he's going to try and defend.
Okay. Then you run up. Let's have you roll savior.
Okay. That is exactly 0. So let's see how this goes. 9.
A 9. So
if
you will grab this thing and pull it back and break that connection. The singer kind of staggers back, like holding his face, but you've pulled them back. But I think that
actually, if we spend the other team, can we push it up to a 10 and maybe end this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was thinking the same thing.
So how do you want to do that?
So Ghost Girl will yeah, she will construct a barrier.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We have that. Yeah, so
you've got those extra powers, so that seems
I've got extra powers. Let's use them. So she She's still having sort of some trouble with her merge, but it all sort of comes into focus very briefly. And one of these tentacle, a bit of aura sort of comes out and covers the monster's mouth.
Perfect. Perfect. So that takes that to a 10. So that will break that connection, and the singer goes staggering away, like running out behind his bandmates to get away from here. And he kind of cleared that risk off the table. It is a 10 plus then for that result, a full success, and you get to make a pick from the defend list there, Yanu.
I think Yanu's going to clear guilty because
Okay.
he just rescued that singer. I think that sort of centers him a little bit more.
Okay.
Whereas before he was in that bad place feedback loop.
So this thing is still kind of writhing in Yanu's arms, but you've kind of gotten the band to safety, and I think that defend roll also means that most of the like people in the club have rushed out the various exits, meaning that taking the other potential hostages off the table as well. Ghost Girl, what do you want to do?
So Yanu has him contained. Do we think we're kind of?
No, this thing is still up and struggling. It has been hit once, but it is not quite down. The other one is kind of splayed out on the floor. I think as you look over, you realize the other one has kind of shrunk back down to normal human size.
I think we're going to continue with the barrier construction. I don't know which move it is to sort of like entangle someone, but the idea is that these tentacles are going to grow and sort of wrap around him.
Sure. So I think you could do this two ways. I could see you doing this as unleash your powers to kind of restrict them from moving and kind of create an opportunity there. Alternately, you could also kind of do it as a support move, in which you're trying to help out your companions to do what they need to do. It's up to you.
Okay, well then let us look at the pragmatic. I'm assuming support is something like mundane and
Unleash your powers is
something
freak.
like freak.
Yes.
Okay, well we know where my strengths lie.
Yes, we
so
do.
Freak it is.
Well, that pulled the cord out of that thing. Hang on 1 second.
The 9 from when he comes back.
Too many books, and they fell over and unplugged the monitor. So I've got it back up. All right. So roll plus freak.
I did, and it was a 9.
It is a 9. So you have a choice. You can marking a condition, or like it's only you're kind of holding them with this, but it's not going to last long.
Yeah, I also figured I wasn't entirely sure how hunger worked, but this could also be Boo kind of taking over to like try and do something. I'm not sure what Boo's agenda is in this one, but
Ooh,
possibly doing something interesting.
Yeah, let's look at that thing. So you had the hold to spend to do this. So you kind of want to say that.
Oh, it's my hold? I thought it
So
was
it's
it
a
was
hold that
something
you
for
get
you.
to spend. So what you could say is, there are two ways to do this. You could have it move your labels and move your freak up one so it's a full success. Or you could have it kind of like tell you what to do, in which case it's still going to be unsteady, but you get to mark potential and you get to reduce your potential hunger by one.
I'm kind of curious about what it's going to tell me to do. So let's go that route. Do I reduce hunger and potential?
You mark potential and hunger, and I
Potential.
think it is temporary, but like you can tell that that whatever that energy was that was coming from the like that was being drawn out by this thing, it tells you to move closer because it wants a taste of that. And I think as you step forward, you engage your powers, I think that you'll feel a whiff of that soul stuff that the Frankenstein was dragging out, and it feels really good. And it's like really good for a second, and then another second you realize what that was someone's life force. But it's held for the moment here. Purple Haze. How do you want to team up with Yanu to finish this off? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I think she's just gonna shake off and jump up and just start wailing on it.
Okay. Then that's directly engage.
Yeah.
So roll plus danger.
That's theoretically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she just jumps up on it, and you hear like because she's like and she's just yelling, I am, and she's just wailing. She's like, I am not worthless. I am not worthless, and she's just wailing on it. So
smash into it. Ghost Girl has it held with this spirit effect. Yanu's behind it and smash into it. And after the second swing, this thing drops to the ground. And you will see it start to turn into a normal person. And you will see kind of a glint there. It has like around its neck a necklace with a really weird looking, clearly supernatural kind of medallion or amulet of some kind. Even as you're hearing like the sound of sirens and cops coming, and none of you are in costume. What do you say, Yanu?
Sorry, my computer glitched out. I missed that last like couple of seconds.
So knock this thing down. It turns back human. There's a strange magical amulet around its neck. The place is clear. It's just the three of you and these two unconscious figures that have turned back to normal. But you're also hearing the sound of police sirens coming, and none of you are in costume.
Yanu is naturally suspicious of magic items attached to things that look like patchwork zombies. He grabs the one off the guy that's closest to him.
Okay.
Just yep.
Yank it, grab it. Okay. So you're grabbing that. I think you'll feel a kind of a charge in your hand as you do that. Ghost Girl, what do you want to do? Like, maybe don't want to get questioned by the police here, right?
Oh yeah, my parents will have a fit.
Also,
Yeah,
use a fake ID to get in here.
Yeah. It'll be another lecture. I'll get grounded again. Um, yeah, so she's all for leaving. And also she kind of wants to put distance away from between her and this thing because she and Boo need a talk about like not eating people because that was weird. What was going on with that?
So you think you're going out the front, going out the side? You're trying to run and get out sort of the back of this place?
Yeah, I think going out the back.
You will dart out the back. What about you, Jenny?
Yeah. Come on, cops.
Yeah, I think she's gonna grab because she saw that thing on the one that she was wailing on too, right? I think she'll also. Yeah, I'm assuming she maybe doesn't even notice that Yanu, but she'll grab that thing off of the one that she was on top of and
Yeah, I
run
think
out
you
run
can
out after.
grab them from each of these and go running. Yano, do you follow?
Oh yes, like his experiences with city guards were not good. So he's learned that sound means leave,
Okay.
if possible.
And so I think we'll see the three of you duck out into the night, and we're going to take our second break here. Take 5, and then we'll come back. So I assume that there are two choices. Either we could do a scene with the three of you kind of a meeting to talk about what happened, or the three of you kind of splitting your separate ways, head back to where you live. Summer, do you kind of stick with the others to have a chat, or are you heading off?
Um, I think she'll stick around briefly at least.
Okay. So where does this scene take place? We cut to the three of you somewhere here late in the evening. Probably pretty late, but are we at a Denny's? Are we at a friend's house? Are we in a park? Where do you think we are, Summer?
I think Summer wants gelato.
Okay. So you're at like a late night cafe,
Hmm.
one with the kind of the band posters on the walls. They've got somebody doing folk music in the corner. They're open till midnight. They've got a nice selection of gelatos in there. You can have one of those, and we'll see the three of you seated at one of those little sort of tables that are never quite steady. They're always just a little bit rickety when you sit at them, and the mismatched chairs here as people are listening and politely clapping to the person playing the didgeridoo over there. Literally have a friend who used to do that at coffee houses late at night. That's what they played. So like when we come in and see the three of you there, and some are I assume that we've seen the nimbus of Boo has gone away by this point.
Yes.
Okay. So you're eating your gelato. Jenny, when we come into this scene, what are you saying? Or are you just kind of sitting there quietly?
Yeah, she's kind of sulking a bit. And she's a little annoyed that we're here because she grabbed the band's bottle of tequila on the way out the door, and she's uh, uh, was doesn't obviously can't drink it sitting here. So
Right.
just a little
Yanu? Oh, sorry.
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Yanu?
Yanu is inspecting this amulet and occasionally like taking a spoonful of this gelato, which is really good, and he secretly adores it. But it's really hard for him to express that because he's just feels a little awkward enjoying something that looks so so colorful.
I think you look at this amulet, it's a very basic chain. Amulet itself, the two of them that you have are they're similar, but they're clearly handmade and not exactly the same. And it almost looks like someone has taken several amulets and kind of weld/fused them together. Here, it looks, I don't want to say amateurish, but certainly not like it's not clean or well crafted, let's say.
So so these amulets almost have kind of a similar appearance to those stitched together monster forms that we fought.
Could be. Summer, what are you saying here? It's kind of a people looking at things. It looks like Jenny's still upset about what happened, or the unopened bottle of tequila in her satchel.
Yeah, that's Jenny though. She's always mad about something. So I think she's still on edge, but she'll see Yanu examining this thing, and she will hold out her hand and say, "Let me take a look." And assuming he does in fact give it to her, we will unleash our powers to do enhanced senses. We talked about this as being some sort of supernatural kind of detection-y kind of thing.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll with Freak.
Okay. It's very annoying. Every time I go to roll, I have to refresh the page.
Ugh.
Something is going on where my browser hates this particular page. And it is a 7.
This is 7. So you're going to get some hazy information unless you would like to mark a condition.
Yeah, let's mark a condition. That's what they're there for.
Okay. What are you marking?
I think she is afraid. I think Boo freaked her out with that whole soul eating thing. And this is going to sort of remind her of that a bit. Maybe Boo is sort of reacting to the behaving covetous. She's getting a covetous urge towards it from Boo or something like that.
And I think as you touch the medallion, this amulet, I think you will see in your mind's eye a figure laying out 5 of these and distributing them out, and like clearly money being exchanged, and then a voice that says, "That's half the payment. You need to look for those with the spark. They will know where it is buried. Drink of them, and we will be able to find where he hid these things." And kind of pans up, and it's a little bit hazy, but you'll see at least the faces of the 2 people that you've already seen at the club, and then there, you can kind of make out 3 others, and they all look like young adults in their 20s. They each take up one of these medallions and they head out. Does that seem like fair info?
Sure.
So what do you tell the others?
So she drops it very suddenly, like she just doesn't even want to touch it anymore. Um, she says, there's bad news and there's worse news. Just a minute. He takes some, eat some more gelato. Says, well, there's 5 total. So we only got 2.
This seems like the
And
type of news that we should receive over the liquor that Jenny is keeping, as opposed to this sweet cream, sweet ice material. This seems like liquor news.
she shrugs, keeps eating her gelato.
So there are likely 3 more individuals doing something with these amulets.
Yeah, they're looking for something that's buried, and I guess they get to, and eating people helps them, eating particular people helps them figure out where it is.
Hmm. I will confess that this modern magic is very confusing. I'm not sure how eating the spirit of this performer was supposed to assist them. I am confused.
Well, we could
If
go
this
talk to the performer since he's not eaten.
we could try and find where their next performance is and attempt to make contact, I suppose. However, these transforming beings should not be difficult to find if they're active. I would expect a similar panic reaction um, from any crowd of people that experiences such an appearance.
Yeah, but they just look normal until they transform.
They smell like grave dirt.
You smelled them?
You didn't? Oh, sorry. No. Yes. They had a sharp scent of bitter earth, haunted
Okay,
earth,
so
haunted earth.
so you can go around and just sort of track them like a dog?
Possibly your city's odors and emissions make that difficult, but I would certainly be willing to try. It certainly add that to speaking to this performer.
Oh, I mean, if you could, she starts to straighten up as if like she's actually thinking this through. If you can seriously track, then we could also go back to the club and maybe you could track back to where they came from.
Again, it's possible, but I make no promises. You do a spectacular amount of polluting in your city, and even a scent such as this. But I think I can try, and maybe we can at least get a little bit of direction.
It's pretty late. Mass transit is going to stop running here in a little while. And some of you probably need to get back in before your parents notice your absence, I assume, Summer.
Yeah, so Summer's parents are doctors, and they tend to work weird hours. But yeah, that being said, she should probably get a move on, because if she doesn't beat them home, it's going to look really bad.
I can perhaps attempt to find this trail, and I should be able to perhaps contact you in the morning.
Okay.
Guarna does not expect me home until much later because they've planned on the concert going later than it did, obviously.
Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny's. What do you guys think spark means? What is it? Just singers? Could it be people who Could it be people who have powers, supers? Is that what that means? Because that might help us figure out. I mean, we could figure out where the band's going to play next, but you know, it would help to know if is it just singers they're after? That seems weird, but could
Or
be.
is it that particular singer? That's the other option. Like as best I could tell, I saw them make a direct line for that particular individual.
Right. So what's so special about him? He was kind
Yeah.
of, but other than that,
So if it was just people with powers, like I was literally standing right there,
right.
and he went past me for the singer. So it's something else.
Perhaps we could do this. I will attempt to spend at least my remaining time that that Guarna expects me to be gone. I will attempt to track uh, uh, this grave smell and see what I can find. And then I will not attempt to engage them unless someone's in danger. But I may at least have a direction for us. And perhaps tomorrow we can make an attempt to contact the lead singer of that band. I do not recall the name of the band. I'm sorry.
It is Here Comes the Death, featuring Gabe Botnick.
I'm presuming one of y'all remembered that because Skirmish absolutely did not.
Well, if you're going back there tonight, somebody better go with you so you don't bumble into something. You know, I imagine I think with his, stranger in a strange land, he probably shouldn't be out on his own. So, if you're going back there tonight, I'll tag along.
Yeah, Summer has already, as you were talking, quietly put her finger on her nose, the universal sign of not it.
So,
and I think Skirmish looks over at Jenny and says, "Well, I mean, I suppose if you're willing to go with someone who you didn't think was pulling their weight earlier."
Don't be so sensitive.
I am extremely sensitive.
It got the job done, didn't it?
I am extremely sensitive. That is why I'm such a good tracker.
So I think that feels like a scene cut there. And we'll see Jenny and Skirmish head off back towards the club. Summer, we'll see you catching some of the lines to get back home.
She calls an Uber.
Oh, okay. Calls an Uber.
Her parents are doctors. She
can
yeah. afford it.
I think about it. Yeah, you're right. Do you think you get home on time? Is it close? Like, what is the situation we see there?
I think she barely makes it.
Okay.
I think she comes in, she shuts the door, and then like just a few minutes later, she hears the garage door opener activate.
And you're there, and your parents come in, and they kind of acknowledge you, but they head off like right away. Like you're kind of waiting, maybe a chance, maybe you have to tell them something, kind of have that mixed feeling of I don't necessarily want to have to explain myself, but at the same time, they kind of rush past you a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, they do that. They probably had a hard day at the hospital.
Do you
She
say anything
sighs.
to them? What do you try to interact with them?
Um, she just says, you know, um, love you, good night, which is their usual bedtime call.
And I think there's your mom kind of stops and says, "Oh yeah, uh, how was your evening?"
Oh crap. Yeah, it was fine. I went and got gelato with some friends.
All right, all right, all right. Don't stay out too late, you know. Uh, and then kind of uh, staggers back and leaves you down here. What are we? What's the kind of the look of your household? Is it messy? Is it clean? Is it Danish modern? Is it something else?
It is basic rich. Um, an interior designer did a bunch of stuff and no one is actually here long enough to really screw it up.
Right. Very fixture oriented. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of things that when you actually go to like sit down or spend time in a room, you realize how kind of alienating for actual people it is.
Yeah, yeah. It's like chairs that were picked out for how they looked as opposed to how they felt to sit in.
Mm-hmm.
There's like no lazy boys or anything like that.
And if we see you go upstairs to your own room, what does that look like?
Um, that's a little different. She's it's pretty large. She's got her own bathroom en suite, a big walk-in closet, all this stuff. But she also has more typical teenage girl stuff. She's got like posters on her wall and um, her laptop sitting on her desk and um clothes and some stuffed animals in the corners and stuff like that.
And we see you come into your room. I'm going to come back to you to ask you one more thing here, but let me check in here with uh, Jenny and Skirmish. The two of you will head back towards the club. There are cops everywhere. Uh, you can tell uh, the guys that you fought have been like bundled away. They had witness statements, and they can check a little bit of people's phone footage to tell that these were something unusual, and so they've taken him away in one of the specially designed vans. But the cops are still here at the scene. Um, are you playing it casual, or what are you doing? Are you trying to sneak in? What do you think, Jenny?
Um, I think maybe we should just maybe we just wait this out a little bit. We can these guys will move on they, soon enough, and she'll look for a spot like I don't know, across the street or something, and she'll hunker down and let's just wait here and for a bit and see what happens, and takes the bottle out and offers it to Yanu.
Yanu, are you gonna drink?
Oh, well, he's totally going to drink.
Okay.
But he's not going to wait. Basically, he's going to take a quick pull of the tequila, make a face, because it's maybe a little stronger than he was thinking it would be. Um, and then he's going to try and unleash his powers to expand his senses and see if he can get a fix on this grave dirt's scent trail that these guys left.
Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't think he needs. I don't think Yanu doesn't think he needs to go inside since these guys obviously came from outside the inn. So he's just going to try and move around the periphery and just see if he can catch that sharpness again.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Let me look at the playbook moves or the basic moves here.
I think it's unleash your powers would
Yeah.
let him expand his senses, I think.
Yeah, let's have you roll with is it freak for that, right?
I think so. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that one's freak.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Oh. An 11.
So on 11. I think that like the you can follow this back and you can get definitely the scent of the grave dirt in here, like in your mind, in your senses, such that you could pick it up at a distance. But I think you hit that thing where like it goes to the mass transit. It goes to there, like, and when it hits that, you're kind of caught in that thing that it could go anywhere from that. But you've got a strong scent, like that if you're within a decent range of these things, you should be able to pick up their smell. You're attuned to it. Does that seem fair?
I think so.
Okay.
And Yanu will sort of like, you can see him sort of circle, and then he sort of starts to go in a particular direction until he hits, I guess, like a subway station or metro station or something like that. And then he like immediately, then like it gets lost and he comes back a little frustrated.
Jenny, you're kind of following along behind, right?
Actually, when she hands him the bottle, she started to was starting to talk, and then he kind of jumps into action and runs up, and we see her just take the bottle and like kind of harumph and say, yeah, nice talk, and then just you know just stays sitting there while he's running around, taking swigs on the bottle and everything.
Absolutely. I would say that if you had a condition marked, I think underage drinking and public drunkenness probably counts as a misdemeanor here, but you don't have any marked. But I do think we see that you kind of trying to get yourselves together, and I do think once Yanu has come back with that information, you're maybe a little bit worse for wear when you have to find your way back home. Does that seem fair?
Yep.
Ghost Girl, let me ask you this. You mentioned that you wanted to have a conversation with Boo. Do you want to do that? Do you see it, or do you just want to kind of tell us what that looks like?
We can play it out if you're game.
Yeah, like what you still kind of feel the taste of that life force. So what is your narrative? What are you saying to Boo?
Well, she's still kind of cranky, so she says she starts out with a little more of a heads up would have been nice.
That figure kind of looks at you, you can see it move to maybe kind of try and answer, but kind of shrugs at the same time.
Oh, does Boo not talk?
I'd assume so, but I don't know. If Boo talks, we can have Boo talk. I wasn't sure.
Oh, I could roll either way. What would you, since you're
It's
the
up
one
to-
who's probably going to have to embody this character,
Well,
what would you
it's up
prefer
to you
role play?
because this is your comrade, so it really matters for how you picture that interaction.
Yeah, let's say Boo is not verbal at this time.
Yeah,
that like
Boo has
they were
talked
verbal.
Yeah, has talked before, but you can tell that it's difficult and it comes and goes. And now it clearly wants to say something, but it can't.
And Summer says, "Do I really have to do the thing? You're gonna make me do the thing, Art. Fine, I'll do the thing." And she goes and reaches under her bed and pulls out a Ouija board, a cheap plastic one, you might have had at a slumber party, or something like that. And she puts her hand on it and says, "Something. Give me something. What was that even about?"
And it will reach forward and move your hand along with this thing, and it will spell out a word. Revenant. And like in the back of your mind, you remember that being a adversary, partner. You're not sure of Requiem, but definitely a figure that vanished when the event occurred.
Well, that's no good. I'm willing to close the scene there if you want, just because that seems
Well, let me
dramatic.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. So one of the ways that you can clear angry is if you hurt someone. So are you still mad at Boo, or do you want to like keep that anger kind of simmering down for yourself?
I think the condition, yeah. Yeah, I think she's just a little more sad than she is angry at this point. Because it's like, yeah, Boo can't really, like, what was she expecting? It's not like they can really communicate.
So you don't lash out at Boo. So you still kind of got that simmering at the back of your mind. Like you still kind of haven't resolved that, right?
Right.
Okay. Yanu, you have to return home eventually. And I think that Guarna is there. And you come in and he stands up and he comes over to you and he smacks you on the arm and he says, "I have told you how to operate in this world. You have a phone. You are to use this device if you are not going to be back, if you are going to be late, if something has come up, if you are going to live under this roof, these are the laws that I demand. I need to know where you are.
I think this is one of those culture shock moments for him, as he suddenly realizes he did have this magic, magic communication and knowledge device literally in his pocket, and he just never thought about using it. So I think that calls for me to roll adaptability.
Oh, sounds good.
And that's under extras on the character keeper.
Oh, very cool.
Like it says, when confronted with modern social situations or advanced technology, and this is a little bit of both.
Okay.
Okay, that is an 8. So
okay.
So
how
on a hit,
yeah,
explain how you've acclimated to the modern world or why the object or situation in question isn't so alien. Adaptability goes up and another label goes down.
So what do you say? Like how is it that you acknowledge this?
And he says, he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out the phone. And he says, I apologize for forgetting this. Things happened, and had I remembered that I could simply tap this thing and contact you, I would have. And I think he's shifting his adaptability up. He's kind of and I think he is I think he's going to shift his superior down.
And Guarna says, that's fine. Just from this point forward, understand that I have had children, many of them. But it has been a long time, and certainly not in this century. So we have to work on these things. All right.
Yes, I understand.
Good. Good talk. And he walks away before you can even say anything else.
And he nods and he looks at the thing again. You can tell he's obviously still getting used to actually hold. It's it might bite him or something.
Perfect. Jenny, you make your way back to the mansion, and here's the thing. You know that the Calisathanos family, all of them are at some kind of family event that it was made pretty clear by the grandfather that you were not welcome at. And so you come back and it's a massive empty house. You've got the guest area that you're crashing in, but what do we see of you here? What's your reaction? What's your feeling when you come back to nobody?
Right. So she's already all bent out of shape, and I think what we'll see is she comes back and you see her, like you're right, it's just this big empty house. She goes to, her, area, that her room, whatever you want to call it, and she just kind of flops down on like a couch or something, or on her bed. Um, and you know, she has the tequila, and she's just kind of like effing heroes. And then she pulls out this little thing, this little like it's a little like disc, and it's like one of those little like where it pops up like a little hollow, like a, and it's Ace of Spades. It's just a picture of Ace of Spades, and she's just staring at it. And all she can hear in her head is the criticism, right? The you know, stuff. And I think that's just where we just see her when it cuts.
Perfect. That's where we're going to stop for play. We're going to do the end of session procedure now, and walk through that. So let me pull that up because it's been a bit. So at the end of every session, we're going to check in with everyone, and you're going to make a choice. You can either say that you've grown closer to the team, grown more towards your image of yourself, or grown away from the team. There's sort of not necessarily opposites, but sort of three different directions that are not necessarily mutually exclusive. But we kind of focus in on the one that you think is most important for your character in this session. So, Ghost Girl, what do you think? Do you think you grew closer to the team, kind of grew into the image of yourself, or grew away from it?
I think she grew away from the team. Yeah, they're still not working together very well. It seems like everyone's cranky all the time. And you know, they're off still doing the mission while she came home, and yeah, she's just feeling very isolated at the moment.
Yeah. So, who do you want to take influence away from?
Ooh, who has influence over her?
Let's take a look at that. So, the influence things. Where is that?
Purple Haze is the only one with influence over her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Purple Haze, you were going to lose influence over Ghost Girl. And then Purple Haze, did you grow closer to the team? Did you grow further away from the team? Did you grow into your own kind of self-image? What do you think?
So, can I ask a quick clarifying question?
Absolutely.
When we talk about growing into your own image, is that a malleable concept? Oh,
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, it's that you kind of have had some moments of change or thought about who you are that are kind of important. Because what the result of that is if you choose that, you're going to shift one label up and one label down. You're going to kind of rearrange your labels a little bit to reflect that.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what I was first thinking, and you can help me decide whether it fits or not. But I
Sure.
think I was leaning into this one a little bit, and she's I think she struggles with her image, right?
Mhm.
Because she's been a villain, and I think after today, she's struggling with this image of not being good enough and of not and things. And so that's kind of what I was thinking she would lean into a little bit, is that she's, you know, her image of herself right now is she doesn't belong, she's not good enough, she doesn't fit in. And that's what I think she kind of grew into that with
Ah.
today's events a little, maybe.
So maybe shift either your danger or your freak up.
Yeah, I was thinking freak up and savior down
I
would
like
be
that. Yeah, that makes sense.
feel.
That's good. And Yanu, what about you?
Hmm. Uh, I think Yanu ended up feeling like he was closer to the team. Because as annoyed as he got, like they did stop those things. Like, the Ghost Girl's tendril managed to close that thing's close down that thing's soul eating power, and then Jenny was able to take it out while Yanu held it. Like that's
So
the brotherhood forged in battle.
So which of the two, Jenny or Ghost Girl, made you feel welcome?
It wasn't Jenny, because she was kind of a jerk. So I think it was Ghost Girl.
Okay, so you give influence to Ghost Girl over you. Ghost Girl, do you already have influence over Yanu?
Yes.
Yes.
Ghost. Oh, so Ghost Girl.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, so because you already have influence, you keep that influence, but you, Ghost Girl, get to shift one of Skirmish's labels up and one of them down. So what do you want to shift?
Oh, got an adaptability stat. What's that?
That's his ability to sort of match up his life, basically trying to understand the modern world by referencing stuff that he remembers from his time, and it's how well he fits in. Right now, he's okay at it. I think it's 1 now based on his culture shock role, but it's a label. It can be shifted up and down. It's just basically operates just like any other label.
Okay. And what do you use for your senses? Is that a freak power, or what is that?
That's a freak power.
That's a freak power. Let us move freak up and adaptability down.
Okay. Nice. And then Vanu, you get to either clear a condition or mark potential.
I will clear that condition. I think his anger is sort of petered out after he got a chance to calm down. And
excellent. So I would like to do just a quick stars and wishes. Stars being things that you liked in terms of play, in terms of other players play, in terms of what happened, any of those things, and then wishes being what you'd like to see more of or less of, or what you're looking forward to having on the table for your character. So Ghost Girl, start with you again.
So yeah, first real session. I am with Summer, that everyone seems to be kind of cranky. So it would be kind of interesting to see what they are like together when they are not all in a panic and have a whole bunch of conditions marked. And one of the other things I like, it was interesting to do a combat, especially since we hadn't had a chance to, first session hadn't do one yet. But I also noticed it took up a lot of time. So yeah, I think I want a bit more time per session reserved for non-combat interactions as well.
Sure. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Joe, stars, wishes?
Yeah, I think just generally I actually had a lot of fun. And just like same as just that we're starting to flesh characters out and starting to get figure out how they interact with each other and everything. So that was great. Yeah, from wishes, I too would be interested in I enjoyed like I said, I like the combat was kind of nice, I thought, because it kind of put us all into like how do we work together and stuff, which was obviously not very well yet. So that was perfect. in many ways. But I too agree. I'm interested in kind of leaning into some of um the other elements of the game, and I'm enjoying kind of exploring this. I would have said goth. My kids would say emo. I guess they seem the same thing to me, but I guess they're different. But yeah, and then like kind of I was gonna, you know, the team moves and some of those other things like that. I
Mhm.
was wanting to try to play into some of that stuff, and I'm enjoying continuing to have her teeter on the edge of whether she wants to be a hero or not. So
Yeah. I do think it's important that we'll get along to have those moments where we can share that moment of vulnerability and do the triumphant celebration. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, I agree. First session, first combat, a little long because we're kind of I'm trying to tour the moves and we get the combat to try that out, but definitely moves so we have more time for other kinds of interactions, other kind of scenes. I think that's really fair to say. Chris.
Oh, I had a good time. I really enjoy the characters and even the little bit of interaction we got to have. Like I think that shows that this is going to be fun. And I'm really going to be interested to see like how the dynamic shifts when Epivos is involved. So that's going to make things interesting. So I'm also happy with doing a little more of the team in non-combat situations and seeing how we play out. Like whether it's investigation, whether it's social interaction, like stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the things I didn't do today because I want to have the full team here is talk about like where is your gathering place? What is your like space look like and figure out that, because I think that's always a key thing. So yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, and I think you're right. We'll get Efivos in here and see how that mixes up the stuff. All right, well, that's useful feedback for me. I appreciate that. Thank you all very much. I am going to stop the recording.